Welcome back to Real Racing 3. This is KK10 Racer, KK10R, and it's third in my series on turns. This time we're doing a video on the same turn with different cars. We're going to start off with the Nissan Silvia. It's a famous car in the game that's always used for the Hunter events. The top speed of the car that I have is 156 miles per hour, and the braking distance is 110.1 feet. And I did just an interesting thing to calculate and compare things, and I divided the miles per hour by the number of feet it takes to slow the car down. I assume it's from 60 to 0. And I came up with 1.417 miles per hour per feet. Maybe we can use that number to compare to other cars we use in this challenge. I have the video up of the Silvia S15 here, and you can see the 156 and the 110 stopping braking distance. You can also see the acceleration and the grip. The grip is below 1. We'll be using the hairpin at the Grand Prix circuit of Hockenheimring. Notice the time started at 1 minute. That way we'll know how much time it takes us to get the same distance. This car didn't get very fast, so it was able to use a later brake point than a lot of the other cars. Right there is where we were braking. Try to stop it at the point where you can see the brake is applied. Okay, you see where the fire truck is, and you see where the ripple strip is that's coming up, and you see what we just passed. That Superfly sign. I call it the short sign because there's one before it that's a long sign, and it hangs out over the track. So we're after the sign, coming up on the little dirty section of the track there, just before you get to the fire truck. Right there, right when the hood gets into the dirty section of the track. We're only doing 134 miles per hour though. And see the dot over here where we started to accelerate? When we get to this shadow, we're at 1 minute 32, almost 1 minute 33. So that's 33 seconds it's taken us to get to this point. Next on our comparison, we'll be comparing the Ferrari F12 TDF. Its top speed is 220, it's about 60 more than the Nissan Silvia. The distance of the brake is only 10 feet shorter, and the ratio we're looking at is 2.4 miles per hour per feet of braking distance compared to 1.4 for the Nissan Silvia. You can see the TDF specs here, the 220 miles per hour. It's got an acceleration 2.61 seconds, and the grip is over 1, so 1.16. Again at the Grand Prix circuit at Hockenheimring. Timer starts at 1 minute. Now see, this brake point starts long before the Silvia's brake point, and we're going 176 miles an hour, and that's one of the reasons we have to start this brake point so much further back, because we don't have as much braking as we have power in the engine in this car. So it's before the short sign instead of after, and at the dirty part of the track near the fire truck. Starting to accelerate here at this point. And we get to this shadow, we're at minute 25, so it was 31 for the Silvia and it's 25 seconds for the TDF. Next on our list we'll be comparing is the Ford GT Le Mans. Top speed of 218, which is right about the same speed as the Ferrari. However, the braking distance is 10 feet shorter. The ratio that we're looking at, comparing 2.4 for the Ferrari on the Ford GT Le Mans, is 2.7. Here we see the specs. The acceleration is 2.4 and 1.8 G. I think it was 1.16 Gs for the TDF, if I'm not mistaken. I found the track and I found the sub circuit of the circuit we needed, but it was only at nighttime, so we can still see the points we need to see. This braking point is right at the short sign. In this track it's a Quantic fire sign, or it's just before the sign. It's before the fire truck and before the dirt spot on the road. Accelerating right at the apex. We got to this point at a minute 24 seconds. I think the other one was 25 seconds, so it's pretty close to the same. The break point was just a bit of a different point. Our fourth car in this comparison will be the Lotus Type 125. Its top speed of 235 is about 20 more than the Ford GT Le Mans. The braking distance is quite a difference, though. There's 30 feet difference. The others were 10 feet, 20 feet at the most. The ratio on this one is, since our top speed is going up and our braking distance is going down, it's a 4.1, almost 4.2 compared to 2.7 ratio of the other, the car before, the Ford GT Le Mans. Top speed per feet of braking. Here you can see the 223, 54 feet. This shows a service critical, but I believe it was 1 mile an hour penalty, so I went ahead and ran it. Starting at the same point. 1 minute is the starting time. This break point is, I believe it's between the sign and the truck. It's hard to catch it. Alright. Yeah, it's before the dirt. You can see the dot being pressed over there. Still on the brake here. Starting to go on the acceleration just after the car's apex. And we get here at 23 seconds, or yeah, about 22 seconds. And the final car in our comparison, the McLaren MP4X. Top speed 264. Braking distance 42 feet. The ratio we're looking at though jumps up to 6.3 miles per hour per foot. You can see the specs here: 264, 1.7 seconds, acceleration 42 feet, stopping distance G's 4.41 G. That is just an amazing figure. I still can't get over how much grip it has. Now this one, timer starts at 59.999 and it works its way down. We're in elimination. Breakpoints after the short sign, about halfway between the short sign and the fire truck, before the dirt. The reacceleration starts just after the car's apex and before the track apex. And we get to 21 seconds is what that calculates, about 20.7 seconds I think is what it calculates, from 60 seconds down to 39. So it's a pretty fast car, but you see the brake points are all over the map. They're all in different places. Depends on how fast you're getting to the turn, how much braking distance you have. So you can see some are the same, some are a lot shorter. It all depends on the car's braking capabilities compared to how fast it can go and how fast it is going when it arrives at the turn. So that gives you some comparison. Next video we'll be looking at different turns in the same car and learning the braking points. We're going to assume we don't know where to brake on these turns, and then we will narrow it down by taking a short braking distance, a long braking distance, dividing it in half, and continuing to divide it in half until we find the distance that is the perfect distance. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Good luck to you and your goals in Real Racing 3, and come back and see the last video in the turn series.